Hey, everybody, you're watching and listening to the We Are Rizin podcast. This is your host, Andrew Benjamin, joined by my good friend, good co-host for the evening, Mike from Ohio. How you doing, Mike?
What's going on, Andrew? How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. Surprisingly, these post-Rizin, like day after things usually leave me still groggy, but I'm not groggy because the show ended pretty early and I was able to get a good amount of sleep. So, yeah, I like 9 fights. I like 9 fights when most of the fights get finished.
Oh yeah, this was a really good show, and it flowed really well. The pace was excellent. Aside from the first intermission, aside from a small intermission after fight two, I thought that was a little weird. But other than that, didn't really have a problem with the pacing at all.
How did you enjoy commentary this time or no? The English commentary?
I didn't think it was bad actually. I thought that the stream worked better this time.
My stream kept freezing.
A few times here and there, but for the most part on my end, it was fine.
And what was the one? And I was getting a lot of pixelation artifacts, like more than usual. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if it was just my signal, but I don't know why. But I felt it was I don't know. I had issue. My stream had screen tearing issues, all that stuff.
See, mine didn't, but
do you watch on your computer? Do you watch on your TV? Do you watch on your phone?
I watch it Roku TV.
Oh, okay. I watch it. So I Chromecast it from the Rizin.tv thing to my thing. I don't know if that causes an issue or whatever. But I was also doing a live stream reaction to it as well. So I don't know if that was mucking it up possible. So that was interesting.
Too much bandwidth.
Too much bandwidth on my end. I have unlimited internet. I don't know. Are they throttling me? Is my internet ISP throttling me? I hope not. Anyway, yeah. So Rizin 47. I think overall thumbs up.
2 thumbs
up. How do you think compare the 46 and the 2 landmarks this year?
I'm pretty sure that this or 46 were the 2 best shows of the year so far. I think both of them I thought were pretty well paced, had some really exciting fights and good finishes, and the crowd was rocking.
Yeah, that too as well. I think 47 was probably definitely so far their best show of the year. I do like the first landmark this year. It was long, but it was a good show overall.
Yeah, it was solid. I just like the 2 numbered events better, but that's just my personal preference.
No, nothing on attendance. I couldn't find anything. But what do you want? Do you want to go through do you want to recap the show first? Do you want to talk about the stuff that happened in between the show first?
Let's just talk about what happened in between first.
Okay,
just kind of get it out of the way.
Yeah, I got you. So let's do Asakura leading for UFC. He vacated the bantamweight title. He's I guess graduating to UFC is a proper term to use. Any thoughts on him going to UFC?
I mean, it sucks because he's a big draw for Rizin. I mean, in the short term, it's not great. I mean, to be fair, I don't think other than maybe Naoki Inoue, there wasn't really much for him left to do in Rizin. To be honest. So I understand why I know that they don't want to have any bad publicity leaving. I get what you're saying when we were talking off air about at least having him defend it once. I can't really say why they wouldn't have him not defend it once. The only thing I can think of is that they think it might just be bad publicity. If he pushes it hard enough.
I mean, by the way, Isha, I saw your thing in the chat. I'm glad that you're going to be listening while at the gym. I have no problem with him going to UFC, but no, I think he won the title in December, and between I don't know, let's assume that he got signed. It's June, so I don't know when he got. I don't know. Let's assume between June or May, whatever. I still think he should have at least done 1 title shot. I know the Inoue fight would have been risky. You could have. I don't know who else you could have found. I don't know. You could have just dragged in some guy from deep, maybe just like hey. That would be a risky fight potentially. Plus, also they were doing the whole Korea versus Japan. Well, that could have win a Korea versus Japan thing as well, I think. I just don't like that he left without defending that title once. That's something that happens in LFA, CFFC, where like you win the belt in those promotions and then UFC comes calling. I would have at least like to see one, and I feel like you could have done both. You could have gotten him to defend. Hopefully he wins, and then he says, "Hey, I'm going on to UFC next." And you have a headline. Kai defends title at whatever show, announces he's going to UFC, and you kind of get the best of both worlds in that way. I think.
But it is and also from Kai's perspective, if he loses, there is always the possibility UFC could rescind that offer. Unlikely, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's a high likely. He did. So here's the thing as well. He did say, "I'm going to UFC. I'm going to become champion. He said, I'm going to be coming back as well." So I don't know if the context he means he's coming back to Japan. Is he going to come back to Rizin? That's the other thing as well. I'm curious to know training wise where he plans to go. Is he going to still stick with JTT, or will he go like sixth? Will he go like to like somewhere like in Vegas, like Syndicate, Extreme, or wherever he was training when he would come to the United States? Maybe Hawaii.
Maybe. I mean, I'm assuming he has enough money to live in the U.S. and be able to train the way he needs to.
Well, that's why he can go to UFC and not worry about the pay cut though, because he's already got sponsors, got YouTube. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your sound's off.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna take off my earphones. I don't know what's going on with them. Okay, how about now?
You still sound like you don't sound normal.
How about now, Mike? Shit. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, how about now?
Your voice still sounds weird.
How about now?
Same.
Hold on.
Weird.
Code Mayday says live stream sounds fine, so I'll try my best to make sure it's on your end.
I'm not sure what's going on my end then, because
I'm not sure what's going
on. Okay.
Now you sound better.
Well, okay. Well,
now I can hear you fine. Now I can hear you fine.
Oh, hold on. Oh, this is embarrassing. Might be Mike with an echo. Mike, he says he might have an echo.
Interesting. Weird. I don't know how. Don't know how, but how about now?
Okay. How about Mike?
Yeah. Give me a sec. God damn it.
Put in the earphones. Anyway, while you're taking care of that, Code Mayday, you say Kai Asakura 16 fights promotion like those LFA guys. You're right, but he's also champion, and LFA is not Rizin. Rizin is bigger than LFA. So I think I don't like the fact that that's something that LFA or CFFC does, in my opinion. That you graduate to the next thing. So I think that I just don't like and also it sends a message that like, you become champion, you could just leave, don't have to defend the title. I don't like that personally. Mike.
Now?
Oh yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All good. Kobe has a good point. Kai Asakura has 16 fights in Rizin, unlike the LFA guys. What do you think about that as well? That he had 16 fights, and that's a lot of fights.
Yeah, and like I said, there's really nothing else he can really do in Rizin, to be honest.
Except Inoue, except the Naoki Inoue fight.
Yeah, but like we were saying before our technical issues, if he loses, there is always the possibility the offer would be rescinded.
Yeah. LMJVG, LFA is a feeder league. That's right. But that's my issue is that I feel like Rizin, by letting him go about defending title, they are essentially saying that they're doing the same thing as the feeder leagues do. I don't like that. Bellator wouldn't do that. PFL wouldn't do it. Gomez Day says your mic is really low, so that's okay. Take your time, Mike. Take your time. I agree. Sorry.
How about now?
It's a little bit muffled. But I can hear you. I can hear you. That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Talk louder if you can.
Okay. How about now?
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Iberian Talk says I agree with him abandoning the title about the title, which is not a good look. Yeah, no, I just don't think it's a good look. LMVJV says that Kai is ready for elite level competition. I presume he is, but we won't know. Defending that title would have told us something. It's just I just don't like the precedent that it sends, in my opinion. Overall, this is
I get what you're saying on that. I do think they gave him a special treatment because of how big of a draw he's been. I do think if it was someone else, they would probably play hardball.
I gotcha. And by the way, Mike, you're sounding, I don't know what happened. You sounded more muffled. I think if you take off the ear pods, it'll be fine. The AirPods. Or disconnect them.
How about now?
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect, man. That's great.
I don't get that. I don't get what happened.
All good. At least the good thing, there's also a balance between being a business and being fighter friendly. You need to strike that right chord. Listen, you could be on the opposite end, like one where you treat your fighters like horrid dog shits, terrible, awful. I think Rizin may be almost too nice. I think they have to have a little bit of like when Weili Zhang had the injury and pulled out of her Rizin fights and then went to UFC. I think you have to find that. I don't know how you do you need the kind of just. That's why I think that the defending the belt, like hey Kai, yes, we'll help you get to UFC, and then we'll help you get into we'll defend the belt once and you go into UFC that way. I think that would have been the perfect ending to his Rizin career, in my personal opinion.
I can see where you're going with that, but like I said, I think from his perspective, it was probably too risky.
I get it. I get you. And listen, would it have been good to say no? We're not going to let you go. No, I think that's just as bad.
Because like I said, he could push publicly. He could air his dirty laundry publicly. I don't think he doesn't come across like that type of fight of person, but there is always that possibility.
Yeah. No. Yeah, listen, you don't want any Chatri shit where, whatever, there's a whole bunch of shit that happened this week that you can just check out.
Rizin has an excellent reputation from everything I know about treating the fighters, being professional, that type of thing. Once you lose that reputation,
talk about fire friendly. He's Rizin, excuse me. Rizin is definitely the most fire friendly. Kime is the same level as Manel Cape. Oh, that's a tough one. Do you think? What do you think?
I think they're both comparable. They're both very good fighters. So, Yuri was the best. Is the best fighter that is the second best fighter that Rizin has ever had.
Yeah. Obviously,
the best is Vadim Nemkov, but that's just me.
I would say Jiri is better than Vadim, but that's a chicken or that's a whatever thing. Question: who do you think? I think it's gonna be fighting bantamweight. It looks like. I think there's big speculation on who he's fighting. Josh Barnett did say that he's not fighting a top 5 guy though. I'll be honest. I trust. I feel like Josh Barnett knows his shit, so I'm not gonna But there were people saying, "Oh, he should fight." Sorry.
Why not Chino Vera?
I think he's top 5 because he just fought O'Malley, didn't he? Right?
Yeah. I mean, I would put him in with Chino Vera, but that's just.
Does he have a fight? Doesn't he have a fight already coming up? I thought he already had a fight.
He might, but I'm just saying, that to me would be a really good match, really good test for Kai.
I know that Peter Yan is injured. He has the ACL injury.
Mhm.
I saw some people suggesting Aldo Cejudo.
So I think is a bad style match for him right now until he gets more acclimated to training full time in America.
Japanese rumors were saying Dominic Cruz. Would not be opposed for that.
I'm not opposed to that for his first fight. I
Yeah.
think he beat Cruz handily.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's definitely, I kind of had a feeling he wasn't going to do flyweight. Well, I mean, here's the thing: if he gets murked in his first bantamweight fight, entirely possible then he'll go to flyweight. But right now, it's bantamweights. It's looking like.
Yeah, and because he'd probably kill himself to make 125 at 31, even though he's only 31. He was always, to me, he always looked kind of like a big bantamweight.
Yeah. What about Rob Font, as Iberian Otaku says? What do you think, Rob Font?
That would be a good solid test. I think he beats Font, but that's no guarantee.
Yeah, it depends on how Font fights that night. So. I'll be tuning in to his debut at UFC Kansas City on the prelims at some point. So good. He'll have to start getting used to not be. He has to start getting used to not be on the main events. I don't think he's gonna get the jury push. I really don't think he's getting the jury push, even though he got a lot. His signing got a lot of publicity. Like surprisingly, like I was legitimately surprised. Even MMA Guru covered it.
I don't know who I've heard of him. I don't.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. There was another fight announced: Kate Lotus versus RENA. I thought it was gonna be BKFC, but it's MMA apparently. They didn't make it clear because they were like talking. They had Soya next to them, and I was like, oh, so it's a BKFC fight. And then no, it's actually MMA. So probably what they're gonna do was RENA versus Izawa, but Izawa is injured, so they go with Kate Lotus, who is nowhere near as good as Izawa.
No, we know why they brought Kate Lotus in.
Yes, because she's quite popular. She's quite popular. Wink, wink.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't bring her in sooner. Honestly.
Oh yeah, that's always been something that Charlie and I always joked about. Was like that. Like she is like perfect for Rizin, and she never got the chance until now. So I don't know what was. I don't know if it was trying to find an opponent or just nothing worked out. Also, atom weight's kind of dead at this point. So
why would they book more atom weight fights? They have plenty of female fighters in deep.
Problem is, yeah, they have deep has fighters, but the problem is that I don't know what Kana's doing. Oshima's going to fight in Invicta. Izawa's injured. Reina's already got this fight coming up. Problem is that a lot of those atom weights are like you had a class of 3, 4, 5 who are good. Ayaka we'll put in there as well. Let's put Claire Lopez also up there for Rizin. But the problem is that the other ones are really mid. They're like fire-wise, they're not that good. They are so below everybody else. It's kind of like how it was like the welterweight division when GSP was there.
Yeah.
Like
it was him and there was someone else.
Yeah. Or Anderson Silva when he was in middleweight before he lost to Chris Weidman.
Got it.
We'll talk about, I guess we'll also talk about, Manny Pacquiao versus Chihiro Suzuki. I guess it's official. I will just quickly say I am not happy. I mean, I'm happy, that it's not Pacquiao versus Mayweather. That would have been the worst case scenario. So, Mike, your thoughts?
At least I'm not a big fan of these exhibitions. I think the bloom's off the rose with them at this point. But I mean, it might be good exposure for Chihiro. At least he's a striker. At least he's a legit kickboxer who knows how to fight, and he's actually Pacquiao's weight, so that helps. Unlike with tension.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it didn't seem. I could be wrong, but it didn't seem to get that much buzz.
No, it did not. That widespread ESPN coverage was that Jay Wolf told me was going to happen. Never didn't happen. Well, it got mentioned in the second paragraph in the Manny Pacquiao wants to fight Barrios.
Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
He's a champion at welterweight. But yeah, and the thing about it is, it sounded like a typical press release.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just like it was so briefly mentioned that like it it wasn't like at the end where like you can see, Pacquiao fight on Rise and whatever. It was put in the second thing as like, oh, okay, yeah, this is also what Manny did like yesterday, and the rest of the thing was about Barrios.
Yeah.
So like, and ESPN's not covering it. A few of the MMA websites are covering it. Philippines, I checked some Philippine stuff. They're obviously covering it because it's Pacquiao, and the Japan sports things are covering it as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected. But like I said, I didn't get a general buzz in the English speaking sphere of it.
No, my friend who's the biggest Pacquiao fan didn't even know about it until I told him about it. Otaku says, yeah, it's not great, but Suzuki has Takanori Gomi for his boxing before Pacquiao. So that's interesting. So this is a trajectory of Suzuki right now. First Gomi in a few weeks, Pacquiao next month. He's supposed to also defend the KO title, knockout title, sometime as well. And then I presume he's going to be booked for something in December for New Year's Eve. Now,
I would think Kleber.
Well, I don't know. Jay Wolf will disagree with you on that. Pitbull, maybe. Well, here's the thing. You are risking potentially your featherweight champion not being on New Year's Eve with all these things coming up. So I would just be, I admire the guy, but this is again where I say that businesses have to be selfish sometimes. Sometimes you gotta just say, listen, take a break. Take a break, homie. You can do, especially Gomi, the Gomi one. That one worries me the most. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, because with Chihiro's penchant for swinging, and
also Gomi's penchant for swinging as well, and also because Gomi is much bigger. I'm sure they'll use like 8-ounce gloves or something. Not gonna use 3-ounce. Same thing with Pacquiao fights can be 8-ounce. They said 3x3. So it's just and then the knockout fight will presumably he gets through those two. Then he has a knockout fight to worry about to defend the title. So yeah, I wouldn't.
He's talented. He's really talented. So if anyone can do it, it's him.
Yeah, the other thing also, clearly Kleber after his fight was clearly angry that he wanted Suzuki, and I'll be honest, I kind of got more interested in that fight after angry Kleber. This weekend was the weekend of angry fighters. You had angry Moose Mikey, angry Kleber, so yeah,
and angry Sergio Pettis after.
Oh yes. If we'll get it. That was hilarious. Oh my god, that was so hilarious. But are you going to be looking forward to Pacquiao versus Suzuki at this point?
I mean, I love Suzuki, so yeah, I'll watch him anytime he fights. For me, he's a must see. Pacquiao, I was always a fan of him, but I'd be lying if it means anything. I don't think once it's done, I don't think people will give a damn.
Well, they said if it goes all 3 rounds, it's no judge's decision, no contest.
That's typically how submissions work anyway. So,
which is dumb, in my opinion. Also, they said if Suzuki kicks him, that there'll be a 5. What was it? Oh my god! It'll be like a 700 million yen fine. I don't know if Barra was being facetious, but that's what he said. That if Suzuki kicks Pacquiao.
There was one thing, and if I read the translation correctly, that Superman punches are allowed.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Will that mean back fists are allowed?
No, I'm dead. What? No.
Oh, so
but Superman.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's interesting.
If I read the translation correctly during the press conference, I think back fists or not back fists, Superman punches may be allowed, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that. We'll have to wait and see. Kind of hard to do a Superman punch when you don't have a cage, really, though. It's very hard to be on the ring.
You have to be a tremendous athlete to do that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's get to the recap of Rizin 47. We're going to start from top down. And we're going to start with Kyoji Horiguchi getting revenge on Sergio Pettis. So, Mr. Mike, what did you think of this fight? I guess we both predicted that Kyoji was going to win, and yeah. Disappointing was not a 5-rounder though.
Yeah, I can understand that. I do think that's something Rizin should probably look into in the long term, or at least do the 5 thing with 110 and 2 5s.
Yeah, it will be a. I don't know what we're gonna get first, GTA 6 or Rizin a main event 5 rounders or 10 or whatever 10-5 10-5. Um, yeah, I think it was an interesting way to how Horiguchi fought. I mean, I thought that Sergio looked great on the feet. Probably I think even better than Kyoji in my personal opinion. But
Pretty even, actually.
mm, mm.
I thought Kyoji's right hand was landing pretty well. I thought he was clearly faster than Pettis. And Kyoji, aside from the knockdown, I thought Kyoji got the better on the stand up. But that's just me.
And
Right?
also on the ground as well. Yeah, that was all Kyoji. Um, if Sergio had continued on what he was doing in the third round, at the start of the third round, which he was winning that third round, if he continued with kind of like what Baynoa did in the Johnny Case fight, I think he could have actually won it.
Yes, I agree because Kyoji, he was winning when Kyoji decided to trade with him.
And I'm surprised he didn't try to do any strikes from his back. He just kept on like shoulder crunching him and holding him down. I just thought like, oh, that would have been a good opportunity to strike against. The other thing I also know is, did you think that Horiguchi was playing this fight pretty safe?
Yes, I did. I think after the knockdown, he's just like, you know what, screw it. I'm taking this guy to the ground. I'm going to get a decision.
I thought that Horiguchi looked. I thought he I don't want to say more fire, but like a more sense of urgency in the Shinryu fights.
I think he was more motivated there. I think for this one, I think he was a little, dare I say, gun shy from the knockout.
Oh, yeah, no, listen, he did try a few of that spinning stuff. So that's definitely not something I'm sure he was on the lookout for many times.
Yeah, that I think I don't remember if we talked about it, but that was definitely something that can affect a fighter if they're knocked out, especially the way Horiguchi was in the first fight. And I do think that played a factor in why he kind of played it safe.
Did you saw Sergio's Instagram thing?
I did.
Where he called Kyoji and Mike Brown gay, and that he basically challenged in nice. I'll put it in the nice way possible. He challenged Horiguchi again.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna. I don't think it'll happen. But if it does, it won't be in Rizin.
I won't listen. As being that they're 1-1, I almost say that like there should be a third match, and I would even say to reckon put the title on the line because I don't know. There's really, I don't want to say there's not anybody who's not deserving, but if there's anybody who's at least who's more deserving, it's Sergio since he does have a win over him.
Yeah,
my personal opinion.
But it would have to be a fly.
Yep, which he's given enough time, I'm sure Sergio can make it.
I'd be open to that because it's not like there's much competition at flyweight for Horiguchi if he stays at 125.
The other thing is also that like Bellator, PFL, whatever, bantamweight is, I don't know, quite barren right now. So it would give him something to do as well.
That is true. And then because you still got a vacant bantamweight title to worry about too.
Yeah. So I hopefully, I would have no problem if that was Kyoji, if they did a rematch. Question though, if they don't do a rematch, what would you think would be next for Horiguchi?
If it's flyweight, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. There's really no one there. Maybe you do the winner of Shinryu and Ogi Kubo. I know he's beaten Ogi Kubo 3 times, but I'm blanking on who really would be competitive with him. If Hiroya beats Tokoro, I guess maybe him because there's literally no one else. It'd be a mismatch, but that's besides the point. As far as bantamweight, Dodson would have to get a win. because he's lost to
Do
Oki
you,
Cooper.
do you count the BKFC? If he beats Soya, do you count that BKFC win?
No, because it's MMA. You're talking about MMA and bare knuckle, two different things.
Fair
And
enough.
then, as far as bantamweight goes, if he buys for the vacant title, I'd like to see him in with Naoki Inoue.
Oh, that would be an interesting match. That would be quite an interesting match. Him versus Inoue at bantamweight. What about Pettis? I had some ideas for Pettis. I mean, if he comes back.
If he comes back, I'm thinking maybe Solchu Kim.
Oh, that's a bad. I was thinking flyweight. I'm an idiot. I was thinking flyweight. I'm an idiot. Okay, Soldier Kim's not bad. I'm gonna say Code Mayday's favorite because he's everybody's favorite guy to beat, and that'd be Kenta Takizawa.
Or how about Shinobu Ota?
Oh yeah, well let's see how his next fight in Bellator the Bellator Dublin goes. I think that's next week if I'm correct.
Yes.
The other thing is also that for bantamweight at this point, if they don't, so Yuki Matoya has fought in Rizin every year since he started. Listen, that's like he's the classic guy you can just shove in there to put against anybody.
Yeah, him and Pettis would be a good fight.
Yeah. So Yuki Matoya is always is a good placeholder in case if you need anybody. Overall thumbs up in the fight.
Oh, I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was fun. I thought aside from Kyoji's the grappling exchanges were kind of just there. I did think that the fight overall was really good. Very good.
Otaku got a good point. Fight Ushiku or Tokoro. We'll have to see how Tokoro does after the Hiroya fight, but the Ushiku fight's not that bad. That's not bad.
How about Kuramoto?
Oh yeah. I mean, he took a beating in that fight. He may need a year off, but I guess once he recovers, that's actually a pretty good fight as well.
How about Nakajima?
Oh, Daichi Nakajima. Oh, that's possible. Yeah. I read Super Rizin will be on national TV in the Philippines because Rizin business on the up and up. That is true. I forgot that it is going to be on the national TV in the Philippines, which means that when they all turn it on, power will all go out in the Philippines, which has happened before for Manny fights. We're going to move on to co-main. Kleber Koike nearly snapping Juan Archuletta's leg off. When people are like saying, "Oh, Archuletta's wrestling is Koike's Achilles heel," no, it's not, because like I said, if you make a mistake with Koike, you're gonna lose. And I didn't think the leg was gonna be a factor. Leg locks were, but it was. What do you think of this, Mike?
I didn't understand what Juan was doing. I didn't get it, because Kleber is so good anywhere. You literally have to fight like we said in the preview. You got to fight a perfect fight, and he played right into Kleber's hands.
See, that's what happens when you try to, if Kleber's on the ground, you need to stand up immediately.
He had to try to keep the fight standing, or be in a position like with what Kanehara did, where he's in guard and just nullify basically what Horiguchi did to a lesser extent against Pettis. Lean on him, a little bit of ground and pound here and there just to avoid a stand up.
The other thing also is that he is he applies his jiu-jitsu so well in MMA. I think he might be I think when it comes to just pure jiu-jitsu to MMA, I think he's probably the best guy. I think he's better than Satoshi. I think he's better than Oliveira. I think this guy, because he just can seemingly get a submission hold from almost any position. And there are even times where I watch him, I'm like, oh, is that even in? And then, the guy fell asleep.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, cannot apply a guillotine properly. And Kleber can just put it on, and the guy is asleep in 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, all while screaming in Portuguese, too.
Yes, yeah. Otaka says that Kleber's grappling is no joke, especially that fast. Yeah. Looked like the first fight, but Horiguchi got to win regardless. Archuletta went to drill mode and went for a takedown. Yeah, no, the takedown wasn't a bad idea, but the problem was when he, was the fact that Kleber sweeped him or got him in a weird like reverse guard thing, and then just managed to leg off him. It also didn't help that Archuletta's leg was already twisting. It was kind of like BJ Penn versus Ryan Hall. There was an opportunity for Archuletta to kind of, if he had just kind of like stood up, he could have avoided or had gone the other way rather than turned the other way. It was a very complicated thing to explain, but man, listen, what do you think of the confrontation after Kleber and Chihiro? That was funny. I love that. I love that shit.
It was. You can tell they don't like each other, and I want to see that fight again. I do think that Chihiro would be much more competitive than last time. I'm not sure he'd beat Koike just because there's such a big gap on the ground, but I don't think it would be over as quickly as it was last time.
I think I'm more that I'm before I was like, you know what, Kleber wins, beats Archuletta. I'm not interested in Chihiro fight. The post fight thing made me more interested in a Chihiro rematch. Listen, that is more important than a Pitbull match. It's more important than his Pacquiao thing. And I'm like hyped for a rematch between those two.
I think you do that for New Year's Eve, provided Chihiro's not injured from all the stuff he's doing.
That's hopefully what they'll do. It would be a crime if like Kleber. I hope we don't go on a whole year of like Kleber not getting the title shot again, like what happened with his before he has his previous run.
Yeah, I don't think he's pissed. I don't think he's done anything to piss off Sakakibara this time.
Well, I don't know. Well, he apologized. I don't know if you saw, but he like immediately I think he apologized to Sakakibara for like how he acted after the how he the screams like that and all that. I think that's what he did because he went to the bar and like bowed his head and shook his hand. I think he said something to him, but I couldn't tell. But well, so Juan back to featherweight. What would you do with him in his next fight?
Is he officially under Rizin contract?
Let's assume for argument's sake that he is. Yeah, I think he probably is. I can't believe that they would just offer him a one fight.
I'm blanking on the. Why not have him face? Why not have him face Koji Takeda?
Oh, that's interesting. You kind of have the two grapplers there. That could be a stalemate, though, potentially. I think that's
and they're coming off losses, so
that's an interesting fight. I didn't think about that one. I was going to say maybe either Seki. Maybe Otaku said it. Yeah, I thought that like Saito because I thought that if he beat Kleber, he should then. Well, initially when before the whole thing when he was going to featherweight, when it looked like he was going to featherweight, I thought he should fight Saito first, and then maybe Kleber, and then if he beats him to title shot. At this point, I think. Well, if depending on Saito Kubo, you could do the winner or loser of that against Archuletta. The Takeda fight though is actually kind of a. I like that. I really like that. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I just think it makes sense where those two are in their careers at this point.
Kobe says he wants to see Kleber fight one more time before New Year's Eve because that is 6 months away. If he fights one more time, though, it's potential that he may not get the title shot on New Year's Eve. So let's just say if they want to do a title shot. If he says that he wants to sit out till New Year's Eve, I got no problem with that. I think he. Sorry.
I was going to say I think he would be smart to do that because if you could always get a cut or something like that, and then that's time away.
The other thing also is that we're also if we're going by, I guess some fans' logic, those fans will know who they are. That Juan Archuletta by being a former champion and then beating a former champion gets him a title shot against Chihiro. Then by that logic, I have to go by Kleber beat a former champion as well in Archuletta. So therefore, he should get the title shot next. And also being a former title, not losing a title officially as well. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you really want to supercharge someone, why not give Kleber with Doubtbeck or Shadulev.
I don't think I would love to see those two guys fight. I was going to suggest those two fight like at a Rizin show, which would be great. But no, I think Kleber has more or less earned a title shot based on his win and also his post-fight shenanigans. I think you kind of have to give him credit for taking the moment and running with it.
Yeah, and the win over Saito on New Year's Eve as well.
That too as well. Yeah, that too as well. And also, he never officially lost the title, if you want to go by that.
No, he did. He did.
But no, some great suggestions. More suggestions. Archuletta could fight Kanehara or Saito. Well, the Kanehara fight's interesting. I still want Roberto Satoshi to be more active, especially during New Year's Eve. Man, that guy is injury prone. I did not know. Like, that poor guy's hand is always breaking or is like in some sort of, yeah. That's the other thing about Kai, man. I hope they didn't read his tapology on his canceled fights, because that is potential. They are running the risk of that with him in UFC. And if there's anything that UFC hates, it's people who get injured during training for fights that are booked. But that's their problem. That ain't Rizin's problem anymore.
No, but the thing about it is we've seen him break. I believe he's broken his hands in
matches as well. Yeah, like the Ogi Kubo match, the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so especially with those, another thing that I'm worried about is the eye poking, just because of how often the UFC fighters hold their hands out compared to Rizin. That's another thing he's going to have to get used to. Also, those shitty gloves that apparently don't knock out anybody anymore. Whatever material they're using for that. Heavyweight goodness, my God. How do you pronounce his first name again? Primislav Kowalczyk armbarring Mikio Ueda in a finish that we all saw coming, obviously not. Man, this Kowalczyk guy was like, man, I was like, okay, I'm on the Kowalczyk train. I am all aboard his hype train. Yeah, he looked really good. I mean, I didn't expect him to wrestle Ueda to the ground and submit him in 2 minutes, whatever it was. Yeah, I thought that Ueda was gonna I thought if he had the back and Ueda was gonna get up, but no, he transitioned that armbar so good, and Ueda didn't even put up a fight. Yeah, he did. He moves really well on the ground for a big man. Yeah. Man, I mean, I think it looks like, he wins. He's going to go to KSW next. I would just say, just have him fight PDF, because PDF is beating everybody at this point. Just like, now you got to just start scraping the bottom of the barrel. Just give this guy, he should just fight PDF now. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see him back in Rizin, but who the hell is he going to fight? The thing is, well, listen, you have a cornucopia of mid fighters in Rizin that I think he kind of will be. The most interesting fight would probably be him versus Shoma Shibisai. I think that could be somewhat competitive, because Shibisai is kind of a good grappler as well. Yeah. But man, I think Kowalczyk beats Sudario. Yeah. Taka Kenshin will not survive in a minute. The Shrek fight would be hilarious. And then about Kaiju Killer. That would be hilarious as well. I welcome either of those. But out of all those guys, probably Shrek is the best grappler out of all of them. So now maybe I like that fight's more intriguing. Mm-hmm. There's the one thing, it's I'm trying to think, just I don't know, man, you just don't have. It's just, I don't know, the heavyweight division in Japan is horrid right now, unfortunately. It's horrid, terrible. Mm-hmm. I don't know who they could bring in as well that are some European fighters or former American fighters, because they're all getting signed to PFL or Bellator. So there's no guarantee that they'll fight on Rizin or Octagon at this point, Octagon and KSW. So yeah, not a lot of choices for him, unfortunately. What about our favorite karate champion, Mikio Ueda? What is going to happen with this guy? They're just going to have to go back to the drawing board and move him carefully and just move him slowly, because clearly he's not ready on the ground. Enough. Rocky, he has a fight though coming up. I think he has a fight in Black Combat
because he said like heading overseas, and he put a Korean flag there. So I'm assuming he's doing something with that, maybe deep, City Life, Isha. By the way, we're going top down, so we didn't talk about Spike. By the way, DeFries versus Kowalczyk for the first ever Rizin heavyweight title. I mean, is KSW willing to do that? That you're gonna have to check with KSW on that. I don't know if they're gonna be willing to do that at this point. They've made good of Rizin, but I don't know if they're that buddy with them.
No, I would think maybe Kowalczyk versus someone else, maybe him versus Shibasai. I think that would make more sense.
I think that's the best high level heavyweight match you can possibly make at this point with another Japanese guy. There's really nobody else. I have to say, there's nobody.
Yeah,
I like Shrek. I like some of these other guys. Yeah, it's just like you're scraping about the battle for it. Kaiju Killer. I think those fights will be hilarious from a meme point of view, but like they're not serious fights. Let's be honest.
No, but I'm just saying like that's like you said, it's literally their only options.
Moving on, we're going to be talking about Razabali Shaduliev choking out Koji Takeda. I said this guy was going to make a big impact on his debut. Whoever doubted me, I hope you choke on your water, whatever, because I knew this guy was the real deal. And Rizin should make sure this guy doesn't pull a Kai Sakura and go to UFC, because they got something with this guy. This guy is one of the best prospects in the world. And if Rizin could clamp him down, then they have somebody who can go on to big things.
He looked awesome. I can't really say. I thought he would beat Takeda. I didn't think it'd be that decisive that quickly. Because Takeda's a good, solid fighter, and he dominated a good fighter.
The rear naked choke he put on was very interesting. So he did a one arm, and he was holding the other arm. So basically, he was trying for the one arm choke. Eventually, he let go of Takeda's arm, because he baited Takeda, thinking, okay, if he lets go of if he lets go of that arm, I can then use that to pull the other arm off. But no, he didn't. By letting go of the other arm and Takeda bringing that arm up, he basically left himself up to the classic rear naked choke. It was beautiful. It was goddamn impressive.
It was, the word I'd use is sublime.
Mm.
That was as good a performance I can remember for someone debuting in Rizin. Like, I can't remember someone looking that good in a while.
And this is so it was interesting that Shaduliev was going up in weight, and then Takeda was going down in weight, and we had a little clash of weight things there. I hope. Listen, I know we said it before, but him versus Dotback, I think, is an incredible fight to make. If Shingo is listening to this, I hope you are, Mr. Shingo. That is a fight that will have me hyped. That is a incredible stylistic fight, and I think it would be awesome.
Or maybe you book him with Vugar Karamov.
Vugar has to solve his problems with the law first, so I am not counting him in anything until I hear that until he gets his get out of jail free card.
Gotcha. But bottom line is you can put anyone. Shaduliev, I think, would beat anyone right now, and that includes Suzuki and Kleber.
Oh, that Kleber fight would be so interesting. Oh, that I almost kind of just want. Oh my god, that is such an interesting fight.
Yeah, it is. If you want to fast track him, put him with Kleber.
Now that I think about it, I'm kind of leaning more towards that, but I still think I'm just worried about fast tracking, because that could also backfire.
It could, and then they also probably need to build him up a little bit more.
So also interesting. So in the Rise Convention video, they said that he was offered fights at 135, 145, and 155, and he said he will sign for all of them. So he could maybe fight at 135 at one point. He maybe 145 again, possibly even 155 as well. So, I mean, I want the main thing is that I want to see him back. I want this guy. I want this guy back before. I want to see him fight one more time in Rizin before the end of this year. If he gets on New Year's, that's great. But I want to see him fight one more time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's a potential superstar.
Now, what about poor Mr. Takeda from the Brave Gym? What do you do with this gentleman next? I think the Juan Archuletta fight was an interesting suggestion.
I think you do Juan Archuleta and see how he does with that and go from there.
I think if you want to give him an easy win, Seki, who lost on this show as well, I think is a potential option as well.
Or put him in with maybe put him in with the loser of Saito Yuta Kubo.
I was thinking about that as well. I was also thinking about that as well. I think he would match up more stylistically with Kubo potentially.
Yes. Because Saito would just cancel him out, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see how Saito does in that fight. That fight's going to tell us a lot about Saito because I think Saito is on the decline.
He is, but we'll see how good Kubo is.
Oh yeah, we'll see if he's improved, which I don't think he's improved that much. I think he's still a one-note fighter in my personal opinion. Isha, by the way, I have your I couldn't listen to your show live with J Wolf, but I have that on my YouTube channel as well. That I'm going to be listening to. Thank you for tagging me, by the way. Kilomede says Shaduyev, Nazimov. Oh, and Nazimov, Kolesnik, knee, featherweight heating up. Yeah.
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, so yeah, you have all four of those guys. We don't need Pitbull fucking it up by potentially beating Suzuki at the end of the year. So yeah, if there's anybody like I personally think Knee should be either Knee or Kleber should get okay, Kobe Day. I'm gonna say this: if Knee and Kleber face off, maybe to see who's a number one contender, I'm semi-fine with that. If not, just go with Kleber or Knee. Sorry?
I was going to say I would book Nazimov Kolesnik.
I think so too. Shaduyev Kolesnik, Shaduyev Nazimov, either of those guys. You know what actually would be interesting? Takeda versus, now I think about the guy that Nazimov beat, Sora Yamamoto.
Yamamoto, yeah. That's although Yamamoto's coming off 4 straight losses, so you would think he would go back to fighting Nexus and get maybe a win back.
Yeah, he should. That's what he should do. Don't forget also, maybe we'll see Majima. We can put Majima one of those.
Yeah. How about oh my god, the guy that Majima beat when I was in Japan for Rizin 44. Oh my god, the really good grappler. What is his damn name?
Who beat not Ishida.
No, not Takahiro Ishida. I'm blanking on.
He beat Majima, or did Majima beat him?
Majima beat him.
Oh, Yokoyama. Yokoyama. I don't know. That guy hasn't fought, and I don't think he hasn't fought since that loss, has he?
Yokoyama, yeah. No, I don't think he has.
I think that was his last. Yeah, that was his last one. So who knows? Maybe he just decided to go back to grappling full time.
Right now.
Oh, for right now, yeah. Yeah. Or you know what? You can always just sub in Imanari. Imagine Imanari versus Shaduyev. That is just that would be
a massive
day. Come on, back me up on this. Imanari versus Shaduyev. No, that is
the confessions and the VTR would be hilarious.
Exactly. Right now, I think though, do we both agree that 145 is maybe the most interesting division in Rizin?
Yeah, it's deep. It's really
deep. And we have there is a who's the champion again? Is there a champion? Yeah.
It's featherweight Suzuki.
Oh my god, my brain just like shut down. Yeah, we have that. Potentially, hopefully the division doesn't get stalled like bantamweight has every time. So yeah, so that's the most healthiest division I think in Rizin. Dominator Yamasu, there's a reason why I forgot about him because I think that Ishida is a better gatekeeper for Rizin. Yamasu is not somebody who Ishida I look forward to. Yamasu is not. Nah. What do you think?
Would you book Takeda maybe, or with Yamamoto potentially with Ishida?
I think that's an interesting. No, they're both from Brave Gym, so I don't think that would happen. I feel like Yamasu and Takeda fought in deep.
They probably did, but I don't think Yamamoto and Takeda or Yamamoto and Takeda have fought, have they?
No, they definitely have not. They must have fought. Did they ever fight in deep? No, surprisingly not. Oh, interesting. I thought they would have. Interesting. Okay. Um, but yes, we can all agree. Oh, sorry. LMJV has a question. Any chance for a one championship to do a crossover or any type of Grand Prix in the future? One championship ain't gonna be crossing over with anybody who that any promotion that's operating right now.
Yeah,
Grand Prix in the future.
they're barely they are barely an MMA promotion at this point anyway.
Yeah, and Grand Prix. You know, I know that Shingo on Jay Christian Gary's interview on Focus Fights, which I recommend people listen to if they haven't. He said that they're still interested in Grand Prix, but we haven't had one since the Super Atomweight one, and that was kind of dud. The last one before that was the Bantamweight one that Kai was supposed to win, but he lost to Okubo. So I don't know if they're really the other thing. Also, okay, this also is a thing about the Kai thing that I don't like. I feel like, and I asked Sakaki Bar about this, and he said that he understands that Rizin, that fighters are going to leave, but that he doesn't like it when they say that they're going to go to UFC, like publicly. And I think that by I don't know now or maybe they realize that if a lot of our fighters are going to leave for UFC, Grand Prix are not kind of how we should book, unfortunately.
No, they aren't.
And
they aren't. They're too risky.
Yeah. And that's also kind of like my problem with the Kai thing is that it sets a precedent that as well that I feel like Rizin is kind of UFCing itself or making it more friendly for the fighters. We're seeing a lot less grounded strikes, knees, and soccer ball kicks. I know we shouldn't be using that term, but yeah. And I feel like it's either these fighters are not training for it because they are planning or want to go to UFC, or perhaps Rise is even discouraging them from it. They're not saying don't do it, but are saying, listen, this is not how other things are promotions fight, like UFC, Bellator. So that's my big conspiracy theory. I might be wrong, but it just we did see the grounded knees in the Kolchak fight, Ueda thing. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this.
I think you are. Honestly, I do think you are.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But okay, if you're still there, we're gonna finally talk about Spike Carlisle makes a comeback and chokes out Kyung-Po Kim. I did listen to a little bit of it on your thing, Isha. Yeah, Spike was getting mauled up until after a round, and I thought like, okay, he's not coming out of this fight. He's gonna lose by decision. He did not look good at all. I'm surprised he did not grapple in the first or second round. Third round, he started deciding to grapple. But listen, he locked in that rear naked choke, and he was out already on the feet. And just like, yeah. What do you think of this, Mike?
Awesome fight. I thought this was fight of the night. And I thought Kim was looking really nice until he got caught with the choke. He was winning the stand-up handily, I thought.
No, it's like 10-8, maybe even 10-7.
He was winning handily. But to Spike's credit, he finally grappled in the third and stuck with it and got the win.
Yeah, Spike
he had a hell of a chin.
Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, I remember Isha. I heard on your show that you talked about Spike's chin. Man, this guy, he's got like, I don't think he even got rocked or knocked down in this fight.
See, I thought he got stunned once or twice, but he wasn't like seriously hurt.
Yeah, no, Spike looked, he got the win. He's back in the winning column after the fight. He challenged Gustavo or Satoshi. I don't think you do Satoshi rematch yet.
No,
I don't know if apparently Satoshi's not going to be at Super Rizin, so it's risky for Gustavo. I would almost say that he shouldn't have to risk his likely title shot for Satoshi.
He shouldn't.
But also, Gustavo is a psychopath, so he would probably say yes to any fight offer.
How about with Spike? Why not put him in with Tofik Musayev?
Again, might be in jail.
Oh, okay.
If you're part of that Azerbaijan team, you're probably in jail right now. So they won't be fighting for a while.
Okay. So if that's the case with Spike,
I got a name. If you run out of names,
who do you have?
I got Yusuke Yachi. I think
That's who I was thinking about him actually.
I think that's a fair fight. And Iberian Otaku read my mind. Yeah, Yachi. I think that's the fairest fight to make at 155. I know that Yachi lost his last fight, but also I don't think Yachi is the same fighter that he was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
No,
So, yeah.
maybe a rematch with
Or possibly, yeah. I don't know if he's still injured though. He might be still injured from the Gustavo fight. Because he suffered some pretty darn good damage. Sorry.
Would you book maybe Carlisle with Bay Noah?
Oh, that's possible. That's a possible fight. What is it? Otaku saying Johnny Case. We'll have to see how Johnny Case, they are friends. I know that they are friends for a fact, but I think they would have no problem fighting each other. LMJVG, you are? What are you referring to? Just go clarify that, please.
You could also book him with Patrick Usami.
Oh, that's an interesting fight. I think though. I mean, if we see, I think that Usami's grappling though is like, I shouldn't say bad, but it's not.
That's not his strength.
Yeah, it's probably his biggest weakness. So, yeah, he gets taken down to the ground. I think Spike ends it pretty easily. Sorry, Fully Star. Do you hope that Rizin got a good check for the UFC for Kai? I don't think they did that. I don't think this is a case of buying out a contract. I think that probably, unless I hear otherwise, my guess is Rizin probably just nullified his contract to let him fight for UFC. I'm guessing. That's my guess. If I hear anything about his contract being bought out, I'll see about that. Because remember, there was that Shuto fighter. Who signed with UFC, but then he was still signed to Shuto. There was that whole weird thing. I don't know if UFC. Oh, Mike, we just lost you.
Shit.
Oh, there you are. Great.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but
that's Rizin cutting off because of the conspiracy theories. I don't think the UFC has ever. I've never heard of Rizin contracts being bought out by UFC. I feel like I would have heard that, but I'm going to ask around about that. That's a very interesting thing. If they did or did not. Satoshi versus Gustavo was probably the main event after Super Rizin. Hopefully, just as long as Satoshi doesn't injure himself again. Do you think Spike decided not to wrestle because he respected Kim's wrestling background? I don't know. I think that Spike thought that he could win on the feet, and I think he thought that maybe Kim trained for my grappling, so maybe I should try to be on the feet. But then, that turned out to be a bad plan, because you saw as soon as he tried to grapple with him, Kim was not. That was not Kim winning at all. Kim's grappling is good, but Spike's is on a different level. Kim pieced him up on the feet so bad. Game plan if that was the case. Cool to see the comeback, but man, I was pissed. I'm sorry, man. I told you can't. I picked Kim to win by split decision, but man, you can't count Spike out. You cannot count him out of any fight at all. Kobe Day says Yachi versus Poirier, Spike versus that Azar in jail, and Case versus Kim. Interesting. I like those. I can't put the Azerbaijanis in because we don't know when they're coming out yet.
But yeah, that's where Usami comes in against Spike potentially, or against or maybe a rematch with Kim.
If you do him versus I don't know about a rematch so early at this point. The Case versus Kim fight, that's an interesting fight as well. Because it will also tell
the weight.
Sorry?
Provided Case can make the weight.
Yes, yeah. I don't know what happened with this fight, his fight that he missed weights. What was I going to say? I think Kim also, you could put, if you want, I feel like they want to do stuff with Kim. I got no problem if they put Kim versus Yachi. Yachi versus Poirier. I don't know. That fight doesn't excite me for some reason.
See, I think it makes sense considering both are coming off losses.
I guess so. I get that. Ali Abdul Khalikov is another lightweight, but he's pretty active in ACA winning. Well, Rizin will give him a call sometime, hopefully, again, to come back. Yeah, that would be ideal to have Abdul Khalikov come back. Where is my things? Oh my god! There it is. Okay. We talked a little bit about before, but Dopek destroyed Tetsuya Seki's liver. As we saw, Seki is a slow starter. That's not the game plan for a guy like Dopek. Did you see he knocked him down in the first? He tried to get that walk-off kick. That walk-off kick. I'm kind of glad the referee didn't stop it though, because he was knocked out, but he kind of regained.
He got right back up, and then Dopek hit him with that hellacious liver shot. Jesus.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, Dopek versus Shaduliev. I'm sorry, but now that I'm salivating at that match, I really hope Rizin books that.
Yeah, I mean, or Kolesnik.
Or Kolesnik too.
I just I thought Dopek looked like a star. I thought his striking was a lot crisper, a lot sharp, or a lot shorter, more compact than what I've seen from him in the past. He looked a lot better than his top rights fight, where I thought he struggled a bit. Yeah, I thought he was a bit wild there. He was very on point.
Did you see at first they were kind of a little bit? I don't want to say they were a bit tentative to start. I think Dopek eventually realized, Seki's striking is nothing compared to mine, and then he kind of just okay, I can take care of this guy now.
yeah, and I mean he just destroyed him. There's not much to say. He's a tremendous puncher.
Yeah. Well, I guess we talked about Dopek, what they could do with him next. By the way, I think if Dopek and Mikuru rematch now, I think Dopek destroys Mikuru.
I agree. Mikuru is not what he was.
What about Tetsuya Seki? He seems to just pop up randomly on Rizin fights. He's kind of like the resident. He's kind of like he's another featherweight gatekeeper, I feel, for Rizin.
He is. Maybe put him in. Did he fight Takahiro Ashita?
No. Deep? Did they maybe fight? They possibly may have fought in Deep. Let me check. But not in Rizin. They certainly didn't fight in Rizin.
I would put him in with Ashita.
Let's see. No, it looks like they never have ever crossed paths. Interesting. Yeah, if you look at his Rizin career, it's really not the most exciting. It's not the most successful.
No.
I think the Ishii fight is interesting. I mean, one's a striker, the other's a grappler. That's kind of
solid undercard fight. I mean, you got to fill out cards somehow.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That was so badass by Dopek. Oh yeah, he did. He tried for the walk-off KO first, and then it didn't work, and then he did it again, and it worked, which is funny. But yeah, again, Dopek's another guy who I hope that they can hold on to. Because if not, that guy can be another successful UFC fighter if they don't clamp him down. I hope we get to see him again. Hopefully against Shaduliev this year as well. I totally lost my thing. Mike, what was the next fight? Was it the Bay-Noah fight?
It was.
Okay, great. Bay-Noah shows why Rizin rules judging are great. And that will be my main takeaway from this fight. I don't think it was a good fight, but what I like is that it shows why the judging is good. Because if this were under unified rules, Johnny Case would have won, most likely. If not, maybe split decision. But judging the fight as a whole, it clears the bullshit out of taking off the third round, as some fighters do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, Case won the first 2 rounds. He gassed bad weight cut, whatever it was. But Bay-Noah, that was Bay-Noah's game plan, and he didn't look great. But I thought his striking was pretty good in the third round, and he did what he had to do, and he did enough to win, especially with the red card as well.
Oh yeah, Johnny. He got Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah, the red card. I'm thinking of the yellow cards too, and the kickbox fight. Excuse me. Yeah, no, yes, he absolutely did. I thought that Johnny Cage was going to win. I thought, he got Nate Beno's back. I thought, okay, it's going to be over. But no, he survived. He survived. Yeah, Johnny Cage did not make weight as well. Very surprising. It was the first time in his career he never missed weight. He did not miss weight. I don't know what happened. You know, I don't know what was the cause of the bad weight cut. I mean, I listen. He took full responsibility. It's kind of like it was like the opposite of Archuletta. He kind of like took full responsibility for it. No, I don't think it should be held against him. He still fought. Also, he fought pretty well, as best he could. I don't know. What do you think about Beno still as an MMA fighter now? I still don't think he's.
I don't think he's that good. He still has a lot to learn with the with wrestling and with takedown defense. I thought his defensive grappling was pretty decent, but he can't stop a takedown to save his life.
What was it good because but it got good to a point where I think Johnny Case was getting tired and he just couldn't apply it effectively. I think that was the issue.
Yeah, but like I said, if it was Benoa even a year ago, he would have been submitted.
Yeah. Kobe Day, I know you've been talking about this fight, I think, since the beginning. Benoa versus Jiri Ohara. So I'm not opposed to that fight because they are both strikers. That will not there's no risk of grappling in that fight at all. So yeah. City Light Project brings up a great thing. When they flew out of the ring, I spat out my champagne. Yes, they fell out like dumps. Johnny Cage went for a takedown, and then they both fell out. Luckily, there was no Brennan Halsey faking an injury. They just went they went right back in. That's hilarious.
Kind of reminded me of this is going way back. Reminded me of Jack Dempsey versus Luis Angel Firpo in boxing, where Dempsey got knocked out and went through the ropes, and then he had to be helped back in.
Wasn't there a Bernard Hopkins fight as well?
There was. It was Ray Allen. It might have been Ray something Allen. I can't remember, but yeah, I remember I know what you're talking about. It was like a DQ or something like that.
Yeah. I thought the referee was going to give him another red card or a yellow card. I'm like, at this point, like it wouldn't even matter at this. Actually, no, I just thought they were going to DQ him. Because I thought referee was going to argue that it was deliberate, but I don't think it was deliberate.
No, I'm happy they didn't do that.
I know we talked about what should be next for Case. I mean, what do you think? I think what was it? Case versus Kim was suggested. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or how about Case versus no, he already beat Gachi. Never mind. Case versus Poirier.
I think that's also an interesting fight as well because Poirier is also just a striker. I think that's entirely possible to do. Do you at all see him at this weight miss? Do you think that they're gonna make him go up to possibly 170?
Maybe. I mean, who would he fight? That Ninja?
Oh, that wouldn't. Well, that's like, can Fat Ninja make 170? And that'll be the question.
I'm not sure.
I mean, if you went to 170, I mean, I guess Daichi Abe is the only fight I can think of. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. There's not much. There's not much in at welterweight either.
Yeah. What about Beno? I think the Jiri Ohara fight makes the most sense. I wish he didn't. I wish he wasn't so dead set on doing MMA because I wish he could be in that K1 kickboxing tournament, which now apparently Earl Zimmerman is a part of, which none of us predicted. Wait, which weight division is he again? Is he 70?
Earl Zimmerman's a heavyweight.
I was like, no, I'm sorry, yeah, but that apparently Earl Zimmerman's being put in that in the what is it? Which category? 80, 90? No,
something like that. But I don't think is there a tournament for K1 with that, or is it only World Max in the 55 kilograms?
Oh, maybe I misread. I thought he was part of the tournament. Well, because when people were like, "Oh, who would have thought Earl Zimmerman would have been in a K1?" I was like, "Wait, was he the wild card? Wait, that doesn't make any sense." Yeah. So I got my brain all mixed up.
I don't know.
Otaku says Case can fight Usami or Horio, or in that case, Kazuki Tokodome. I think that'd be
if Tokudome doesn't retire after that.
Yeah, if he doesn't retire, yeah. Volley Star wants to know, do you think one MMA division will totally be gone by the year end? And do you want Rizin to quickly grab a couple of fights before PFL have the chance to do it? I don't think one's ever going to really give up their, as long as they're existing, I don't think they're going to ever give up their MMA. They're going to have some MMA fights, but if they ideally like let a bunch of fighters go. Actually, oh my God. Kobe Day said Cage versus Tokudome happened UFC.
Did it?
Do it in Japan. Do it in Japan again. Why not? I think that's interesting. Do they give up? No. Who are they? But like, I'm trying to think. Like, which fighters from one would you like to see come over?
Tetsuka.
So who is that?
Hiroyuki Tetsuka.
Oh, Tetsuka. Listen, Adam Waite needs fucking people. I know that people are like down her. Itsuki Hirata. You gotta bring, especially like her. She would bring in lots of eyes for many reasons.
And you could build her up. I think she's too small for that weight class anyway.
You think she's too small for Adam Waite?
No, for what she's in now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Gotcha. Oh, I got the whole weird thing. Yeah, one's weight things are mixed up, and that.
I think they're a division up.
Yeah, just some weird shit like that. So she's like in strawweight, like
where welterweight was middleweight was light heavyweight, etc.
Yeah. Listen, I would love to see Gary Tonin. I would love. Listen, would he be featherweight?
Yeah, I think he would be. Yeah.
Okay, like him versus Kleber would be very interesting. Like, and against like Shaduliev or other fighters like that as well.
You look at the fighter. There's been quite a few Japanese fighters who have been in one recently, but a lot of them are Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who's the guy that beat Gary Tonin.
It was a former champion.
Thonley should be in like UFC. I know he's lost his last one, but listen, that guy is still like, I think is still like one of the best in the world that nobody talks about.
Yeah. No, one has some really good MMA fighters. They just don't fight.
Yeah, too small for one atom weight, which is 115. Really stupid. Gary Tonin versus Kleber is awesome. See, I think of some good fights occasionally, Kobe Day. Give me some credit occasionally. You can bring Akiyama. Are we talking Sexyama?
Yes.
No. I don't think Rizin would want to do anything with him. I don't think he's just doing a physical 100 shit now, I think, right? Yeah.
And occasionally fighting in one. I mean, he still fights periodically.
Yeah.
But Aoki
wasn't the last fight against Aoki though? Wasn't that his last fight?
Yeah, he won. And not to mention that Aoki just resigned with him.
Yeah, Aoki resigned with them, and also I don't know what Aoki seems to like burn bridges. Yeah. I don't know, like he seems like he's not well liked. I don't know. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't like dealing with him. He's a very difficult guy to deal with, from what I've heard.
Yeah. You saw a little bit of that 15 years ago when he flicked off the camera after breaking Mitsuo Hirota's arm.
And also he was very critical of Kai leaving as well. He said that Rizin has lost their ace as well. He was very critical of he was not too happy about that. And then hasn't he also trashed Rizin like publicly?
He's trashed them numerous times, so I don't really take what he says that seriously anyway.
Akiyama versus Fat Ninja. Maybe.
Would they be even able to afford Akiyama if, God forbid, he became available?
Well, we'll have to wait. I don't think he wants to even do MMA like that regularly at this point. I don't think he needs to.
No, he doesn't. Probably makes a ton of money in Korea.
He fought.
He fought oh my God, Nikki Holtzkin, was it?
Oh yeah. When they put him, oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that. Where Nikki Holtzkin fucked him up. Oh my God.
In a straight MMA fight, yeah, it was Aoki, I believe.
Yeah, and I forgot Aoki fought Hands of Stone, Lineker in that awesome, so highly mismatched fight. Japanese fans haven't really forgiven Sexyama for what he did versus Sakura. Oh yeah, that's your.
They really haven't. And
The greasing thing.
it's 17. It's been over 17 years.
Oh yeah, yeah, and also greasing during the Olympics as well. Let's not forget about that. Okay, I don't know how to talk about this fight. This fight was a bizarre, like
Train wreck.
but I enjoyed it.
It was
It was hilarious.
it was perverse. It was perverse and great at the same, and horrible at the same time. Like Full Swing was so far out of his depth and going for all the takedowns and all that. That was hilarious.
Oh my god, there should have been a drinking game. How every time he Soul Sling goes for a takedown, go for it. And yeah, he did. He got 2 yellow cards. The score was like one judge gave it 30-20. That's how many points he lost, was 30. He would have had to finish that fight by like the end of by like the round 2. Oh my god, it was hilarious. Oh, and then well, didn't Umeno try for a guillotine at one point? I think as well. This fight was such a mess. I love Osawa looked so perturbed. I cannot wait to see the Rising Confessions because Osawa is just gonna. He's just gonna ream Full Swing.
It just looked like a really bad shootboxing fight.
Oh my god, yeah. This was so like, yeah. I mean, every time Full Swing just went for that overhand right, like Umeno was like, first of all, I didn't realize he was 5'11". I don't know why. I've seen this guy fight before, and like he's huge for a bantamweight.
Yeah, he's very tall for that weight class.
Absurdly tall.
The only person that I can recall being maybe taller is Taiju Shiratori.
Yeah. Have they ever fought? They fought before, I think, right? Because
the Rise Grand Prix 5 years ago, and Taiju knocked him out, I believe, first round.
Oh yeah. We don't remember that because that was like one of the worst. That made one of the worst major shows of Rizin. That Osaka show. What do you think of that elbow? Elbows in this fight were insane. You see, he kind of like did it like a thing like this. It just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because Full Swing was no pun intended, coming out full swing, and
well, I think that's the only way he could have won, honestly. But yeah, there's also that's the only way he would have had a chance to win.
Oh yeah, and Kenji Umeno looked terrible. I thought he could have finished this fight way earlier, but he is what he is at this point. That's really all I can say about it.
So you're right that he has the worst bout, being the worst in the card. But I enjoy this fight on such a entertainment level of how much of a mismatch it is, and how just like all the shenanigans. I cannot deny that I was not looking forward to this fight, and then I was immense. I was laughing my ass off. Isha, I didn't hear your thing with your review of the fight, but I hope I gotta see if you were laughing as much as I was. Because oh my god, it was so entertaining. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the booking, what the thought was behind it, considering that Full Swing is not a kickboxer and he lost his one other kickboxing fight, and to put him up against a guy who is a Muay Thai specialist with elbows as well.
Damager champion at that.
What do you do Full Swing next?
Maybe you put him in for like specialties, but that's about it. I don't think they should bring him back.
I cannot deny. I think the guy's on like an insane losing streak at this point.
Yeah, well, I think he's lost 9 out of his last 10. I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah, look at he only beat Xian because Xian's not that good of a fighter, to be honest. But other than that, all these other fights have been just he's gotten destroyed. I think he's got to go back to deep. I think you got to send him back to deep at some point. Let him get a win or two or something. Yes, it is. No more kickboxing. Umeno looks like he's going to be going to MMA. They talked about in that VTR that he wants to do MMA. Good luck. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, he's 35, I think now, so very long, very old-ish age to begin to make that transition.
Maybe that'll be the next fight for Pettis is Umeno's debut. or Kyoji's next fight because they got nobody else. I don't know.
They really don't.
I mean, well, best of luck. So
It'll be Shoko Sato.
wait, hold on. Are Ashizawa and Cozy, are they fighting at featherweight or are they fighting at bantamweights?
That I don't know.
That I'm curious to see because I might have an idea, a bad idea, but an idea nonetheless. Let's see. Oh, 134. Okay.
Bantam.
Umeno versus Ashizawa or Koji sometime down the line. Why the fuck not?
He wants the rematch with Koji or with Koji anyway.
Was it sorry?
Umeno wants a rematch with Koji anyway.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. JS, you bring up a great point. I think they're going to use full swing for bare knuckle. If they brought him for bare knuckle, okay, for go deep, do some bare knuckle stuff. I think that would be right up full swing's alley, in my personal opinion.
At this point in his career, yeah, that's the only way you do bring him back.
Yeah. So next bare knuckle fight in Rizin, I think full swing. You call full swing the first guy you call.
Yeah, watch him fight Shinotsuka next.
Oh, are they same weight class?
I don't know. I'm just being sarcastic. They might be. I'm not sure, but I'm just being sarcastic.
Oh, you're being sarcastic. Oh, okay.
Knowing how Rizin books,
that's true. That's true. And not so much to talk about because we kind of talked about it before, but it ended quickly. Patrick Usami KOing Kazuki Tokudome pretty handily.
Yeah. Show looked great.
Oh yeah, listen, this was the return for Tokudome was not a Dominic Cruz. It was a Cain Velasquez, Francis Ngannou return type.
Yeah.
Sucks.
What's up?
Oh, it just sucks. You take 3 years off, you're making a return fight, and it ends that quickly, that badly. But I mean, listen, Usami is a guy. Listen, there's a reason why Kim took him to the ground because you don't want to be training with a guy like that.
No, you don't. And I know he got dropped, but it was a flash knockdown. I didn't think he was hurt.
Don't forget, he survived Ampo. He survived Ampo's Rukia Ampo's striking. I don't think he got rocked a few times. I don't think he got knocked down, if I remember correctly.
He got knocked down a few times, I think.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But he survived. And Show, to me, Show's improved a lot. We still need to see more about his grappling, but I do think that if it was a year or so ago, I'm not sure he wouldn't have been as composed as he was against Tokudome. That I was most impressed with. He didn't panic when he got dropped.
Yeah.
He countered Tokudome beautifully.
Well, if you look at his first fight, it was against
Shinji Suzuki.
Yeah. And he was definitely tentative in that fight. And then I think once he kind of got his rhythm, he easily finished him. So but he looked good. I know we talked about a few people before that he should fight. Do you think he should stick with MMA or should he also do kickboxing as well?
I think he should stick with MMA, but if he wants to do like maybe bare knuckle, which I think he'd be pretty damn good at because his boxing is excellent.
Yeah. The problem is though, is that here's the thing, that bare knuckle is great, but also people gotta realize, listen, your hands are gonna get fucked up. People's hands break all the time in bare knuckle.
I get it. It's just I'm saying like if Usami wants to get more, he can. I would think he could do any of the three. To be honest.
Yeah, I also think that I kind of don't want to like. You should save the bare knuckle for maybe the breaking down guys, kind of those Osaka
or people who are
smoker people.
Who are like that, or people who are popular but maybe are not good enough at MMA. That's how you can use them. Yeah,
because also the MMA fighters, you kind of want to cultivate them. You want them to be healthy as much as they can. Presumably, they want to go on to a career at UFC, which Kai opened the door for. You listen. You do like 3 or 4 or 5 bare knuckle fights. I don't think we ever seen really like I mean, John Dodson kind of, but I want to see somebody go from bare knuckle to UFC and see what happens, like with like the striking. It sucks now that or more into MMA. I want to see more of that because I want to see if the bare knuckle stuff affects their striking negatively.
I mean, it could. I mean, like you said, with the hands and all that, but also, I believe, isn't one of the rules, if I remember right, you start near each other? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, that I'm not sure I like that, but
And Otaka says you can use Minoru Kimura for BKFC. He would be perfect.
he would. But I don't think he'd do it.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if BKFC drug tests. So, yeah, if they do, that ain't going to work that well. Mr. Mike, did you have a fight night, finish night, or walkout night?
Yeah. Fight of the night was Carlisle Kim. Fight was awesome. Finish of the night was either Usami Tokadome or Shadulyev and Takeda.
Really no walkouts, unfortunately. Spike didn't do a walkout.
No.
Wallen didn't do a walkout. I had the thing muted because on very softly because I was doing the live stream and I didn't want to get copyright, so I barely heard any of the music.
Yeah, honestly, they were pretty nondescript, but just because I like his entrance song, I'll go with Kyoji.
Okay. Oh yeah. Kyoji's always a safe bet. Fight night. Listen, I'm kind of disappointed how he fought, but the aura around the fight was still kind of amazing. I still like the Pettis Horiguchi fight. There was a really great aura. And that's the only thing I can describe is it had an aura behind it. I was really excited to see it.
Yeah.
Man, finish of the night. So many to choose from. Kleber, Juan Archuletta, because I was not expecting it to go that way. I was expecting Kleber to win, but not by a fucking heel hook. And I guess if you are forcing me to do a KO or another one, I'll say Kowalczyk Ueda again. I picked Ueda to win, but I did not expect Kowalczyk to do what he did.
No, absolutely.
Walkout night. I had it on mute, very soft. So wasn't really paying attention. But yes, if you want to watch it, it's available on Rizin.tv, or you can just wait for them to upload the things on YouTube, which you'll probably do within the next week or so, probably. Mike, where can people bother you if you want to bother you?
Yeah, just on the Discord, Mike S. That's it. Or my email address, msult7@aol.com. I don't do that. I don't do social media.
Okay. So. I didn't write down your email on the thing here, but Rizin FF Discord for Mr. Mike. Please join the Rizin FF Discord if you are not already part there. Other people associated with We Are Rizin Podcast, follow Jay Krish Gary at this is his Twitter/X thing. He has his Focus Fights thing, which has a great. They're doing a show tomorrow, I believe, with Jay Wolf, which you got, I think at 5 or 6. I apologize, I don't know the time, but subscribe to the YouTube channel to find out the correct to keep up to date and all that stuff. I didn't write J Wolf. I thought I had J Wolf in here. My God, I apologize, J Wolf. J Wolf. It's spelled J Wolf with a Y1. His Twitter. Daniel D. Zubecki's Twitter, as well as this long thing. The We Are Rizin Podcast Twitter at We Are Rizin Pod. And please, if you are not subscribed, I don't like doing this, but please hit that likes button and do the subscribe thing. I don't, but it makes my day when I see a subscriber, that subscriber never go up. But we got 2 quick comments. Great show. I don't want to end. I don't want to either, but I have sleep to get, Isha. And I have to listen to your thing as well. JS, oh my God, he'd be hilarious on bare knuckle. Yeah, it would be hilarious, but it'd be fun. Full swing, I think you're talking about. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you for whatever is the next one, whether that's Super Rizin 3 or something in between. But thank you to all who came in. And please join in again next time. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.